Dang. And what chart is that? Alright, so Frank said he had a good trade going on, so I'm gonna go see what he's saying. Frank, you're making it on the vlog. Show me your trade again.
This is it.
Dang. And what chart is that?
SPX500.
Nice.
Yeah,
Got some sell side.
Crazy move. Because news came out like a record number of cases increased.
Dang. Yeah, the COVID-19 stuff. Crazy.
Okay, Arizona I don't think counts because they just started testing. So of course like they saw
Oh
a
yeah,
big
so they
jump
got
from
some
0 to like thousands of cases. But in other states too, I've seen like a lot of, I think it's...
How's Georgia doing? Have you seen anything on Georgia?
Yeah, Georgia, not a record high, but they're back up to over 1,700 cases today.
Dang. Okay, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, this felt really good to capture on camera. GBP USD spiking to the downside. We have a lot of different risk on assets right now selling off because we just had a spike in the number of cases in this pandemic. That's at least what the headlines are saying. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. And let's go check with Will because I think he was trading US 30, or he at least had some ideas or some analysis. So let's see what he says.
I said that yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it yesterday.
All right, what you got?
All right, y'all. So y'all remember yesterday how I talked about I had a sell limit on the 200 moving average. I didn't enter in the trade, but that was my analysis.
Will, like 10 seconds ago, just had me film his idea here on the US 30 coming up to this point. And as we were looking at it, as I get back to my seat, it's starting to drop here. So we'll see if it can get any lower.
That's crazy. For this 200 moving average. So it's like right here. Now, if we look, if that sell limit would have hit, right now we would have been up 939 points.
Jeez, yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we filmed that. That
We
was
filmed
literally
it.
all caught on camera.
All caught on camera. I didn't do it, but I just wanted to let y'all know my analysis was right.
But you know, that's what happens to traders. I think it's probably a good lesson, even just the fact that so often we have like a trade idea and it actually is gold, but we just don't quite hit it at the right time.
We don't hit it at the right time.
You know,
I hit it
trigger.
right when it was too late and it never came back.
Yeah, and you were so, like, because I saw your analysis, the video earlier will show that. I mean, you literally called a spot and it was just barely out of reach.
Barely out of reach and never hit it. So, you know, if y'all have a great idea, sometimes you have to just do it if it feels right. You know, either way, even if you're wrong, my stop loss would have still been probably on this next resistance level.
Right.
But just imagine, like, you know, the potential of the risk to reward.
Sure.
It's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Thanks for the update.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, so yesterday, traders, we talked about this GBP USD trade that I took here. Actually, at this resistance point, you can see that price came right up to this point. And yesterday, while I was in the office, I took that trade, and price is rolling over so far. We'll see if that holds. But the cool thing here is just notice how price, when it comes into a level of resistance like this, it often does something like this, where it basically comes up, it consolidates momentarily, and then looks to actually retrace. So I'm looking for that to continue and to hopefully get us down to our take profit here, which is right at the previous low of this overall trend to the downside. So looking to see if that trend line can continue to play out in our favor.
3 hours later.
Hey traders, so I am back home. This is later in the evening, but I wanted to give you guys a little update on this GU trade that I've been watching and kind of vlogging here. We actually saw the resistance point. Like I said, we held this level very nicely, but we continued to roll over throughout the New York session, and now in the Asian session, things are still going well. But what you'll notice here is I've actually taken my target off of this trade. I had a target here, but instead now what I've done is I've gone ahead and moved stops to just about break even, a little bit better than break even, because of some of the things that were in the news today. So basically what happened in the news, we had some kind of new cases show up about this whole pandemic situation, and it is looking pretty grim for a lot of different risk on currencies, a lot of different risk on investments. Like stocks are down quite a bit today. I think we were down just about 3% on the Dow, which is pretty big. So I've actually decided to, instead of capping this trade, what I'm going to do is I like the fundamentals. I think think it's possible that we could see another big slip like we did back a little bit earlier that way. But I'm looking to see if we can get more downside here. Now, again, when the first case of the pandemic kind of dropped, we saw GBP USD drop significantly. And so if that is to repeat here, we've kind of jumped into this trade early, and I think it's possible that we could see some rollover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trail this trade in. So what I'm gonna do basically is as this price drops, I'm gonna be looking at structure. If we keep going down, then I'll be trailing stops, probably move it to somewhere around here next if we can lock in a little bit more gains.
The next.
Okay, so it is the next day. Price rolled over pretty nicely, and I actually just trailed my stop. So like I said, I'm initially into the trade here. I decided to pull off my target down here and instead just trail this one in. So we had a spike here in the London session, and price came up to this point. It formed a high for the day and then rolled over. So far we've been pretty bearish. We are popping up a little bit today so far, but what I'm looking for is if price decides to break above and start to break back the other way, then I'm going to go ahead and stop out of this trade. This is locking in about 50 pips here on the move, and so if it decides to roll over further, then we'll continue to trail stops. Otherwise we'll just trail ourselves out and take that profit either way. So a good place to be in for sure when you're trading is when you've taken the trade and you are trailing in and you are kind of you've locked in some amount of profit. So theoretically I can't lose on this trade, but I can let it keep running if it decides to do so. So we will see what pound dollar ends up doing. All right guys, so it is Friday in the office. I'm back in here. Yesterday I gave you guys a little bit of an update, but what you'll notice here on pound dollar is we held our level. Really, really cool to see this play out start to finish. Like I said, when price was coming up here, got short, price started to roll over, and I just took profit there as price is rolling in. Look at those heavy red bars there, really, really rolling over. And actually, if we just jump over here and type in US 30, what you'll also see here is US 30 is selling off hard this morning too. Probably going hand in hand. We see a lot of risk on stuff getting sold off. People are getting a little bit fearful. We've got some cases coming in on this whole pandemic situation, so causing the markets to sell off. So, of course, we don't want to be profiting on that. That's not why, but in terms of the technical setup that we talked about on pound dollar, played out really, really nicely. We did see this level hold as resistance, support here, broke through, found resistance again, and overall rolled over very nicely. So not bad, and another good trade for the week. So although the GBP USD trade is going very well, you can see my stock account is not doing so hot today, down about 1,600, 1,700 bucks today. Not fun. Overall, things are doing okay. You can see up about 24% still since I started this account. I shared this, there's a video on YouTube. You guys can go find the full video if you want. But again, just full transparency, sometimes things are going well in certain areas and not in others. So you can see a pretty red day today as stocks take a tumble due to the same reason that I'm actually making money on GBP USD on the short term. So it is what it is. This is kind of the reality of trading. Some days you're up, other days you are not. So it is what it is. It is what it is.